Hey you guys, it's petplatypus here. Before the video starts, I just want to say a few things. Number one, this video will contain spoilers for different transformations in different series, so if you don't want to be spoiled, maybe not watch the video, but they're pretty light for the most part. Number two, what you guys are seeing in the video is going to be me drawing some pictures in my own art style. They're quick sketches that were quickly done. They're not reflective of like me trying really hard, but they're just a few anime characters I decided to draw, so I thought that'd be fun. And the last thing I want to say is I'm sorry for getting this video out kind of late. It took longer to make than I originally anticipated. Okay, roll intro. Hey, how's it going, you guys? It's petplatypus here, and I'm bringing you guys an anime and manga discussion video. This time I'm not going to talk about anything as important as a good adaptation or character death in anime and manga. I'm just going to talk about transformations. Super Saiyan, second gear, fourth gear, fucking violent mode, if you guys don't know what that is, I'll explain. Dragon Force, stuff like that. You know, when the character undergoes a physical transformation and a power-up, and just kind of basically a couple of different categories. I kind of want to talk about how they look, how different I think they should look, what the differences should be when they transform. Of course, these are my opinions. Kind of want to talk about some of the hypocrisy that I see in the anime and manga community when it comes to what transformations look like, and just kind of like a general misunderstanding about them. And I also want to talk about their place in a story, when they should happen, and the situation surrounding that, and how much stronger a character should get from one. So, first we'll talk about, let's see, I don't know, let's start with the fucking hypocrisy, I guess. You got Blue Goku, okay? You got Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. He's Goku, he's in God mode, and he goes Super Saiyan 1. And the hair turns blue instead of yellow to signify that this is Super Saiyan with God energy, God ki. And people are flipping a bitch about it. They're like, it's a recolor, it's generic, it sucks. Do you guys read One Piece, watch One Piece? Second gear, most people don't have a problem with that. Most people say second gear looks awesome, it's badass, whatever. It's just Luffy with steam. That's literally it. His skin has a different tint in the anime, and there's a bit of a shine to it, which I think looks cool, but that's in the anime. In the canon manga, there is no tint to his skin. He is normal Luffy with steam, and no one complains. People say that looks badass, it looks epic. So why, when Goku's hair is an actual different color, and his aura is a different color, and there's actually some physical changes to him other than, like, steam, people are like, it's lazy, it's bullshit, you know, it's just Super Saiyan 1 in God mode. And it looks blue to signify that it's different from the normal Super Saiyan 1. So I don't really know, like, and people don't really understand what that transformation is. They think it's like Super Saiyan God 2 or something. It's not. It's a transformation you've already seen. It's just being done with a different source of energy being imbued into it. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of a hypocrisy there as well, also because when Goku turns Super Saiyan, it's just blonde hair. It's spiked up, but it's just blonde hair. I mean, he looks different, but Super Saiyan 2, hardly different at all. His hair is barely changed. I don't see anyone complaining about that. Vegeta, nothing changes on his hair. It doesn't even get more shaggy or anything, or it's just regular Vegeta hair. No one complains about his Super Saiyan 1 to 2. For almost every single character, except for Gohan, their Super Saiyan 2 transformation is lazier than the Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan forms. But no one complains, probably because of nostalgia. Not even just nostalgia, but just attachment, being used to it, already kind of knowing that that's how it is, and not really, it's nothing new, it's not blindsiding you, it's something you're already familiar with. And people complain about Frieza's form, like, oh, he should have looked like Cooler. Why would he look like Cooler? His original form is his final form. Like, his final form from the Namek arc, when he's small and sleek, that's his true form. The other forms are weaker, they're bulkier, they lower his speed, they lower his strength. They have extra baggage like horns and shoulder pads, and why would you want him to add those? The whole point is for him to be sleek, streamlined, and fast and compact. Not this bulky mess of spikes like Cooler was. I think Cooler looks fine, I guess, in his final form, but he's not canon, so Frieza should not look like that. He's golden to signify that he is stronger. He looks a little bit more armored, and he looks a little bit buffer, but not too overly bulky. And I think it's perfectly fine as a transformation. I mean, you have a bit of an argument saying it's lazy just because his other transformations did look very different. However, with Goku, there really is no argument. It's very hypocritical to say, oh, Super Saiyan God's lazy, it's just red hair, a slimmer body, and red eyes. Super Saiyan is blonde hair, greenish blue eyes, and that's it. Not even a slimmer body. I mean, sometimes they get a little bulkier, they buff up a tiny bit, but it's the same level. Like, Super Saiyan God is the same level of change to him, to Goku physically, as Super Saiyan. So it's pretty fucking hypocritical to say Super Saiyan is fine and Super Saiyan God isn't, when it's literally the same level of fucking physical changes. So, yeah, it's kind of getting that off my chest. But now I guess I'll talk about what I think a transformation should look like. Really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day as long as it's different enough to signify there's a change, whether it just be an eye color difference, an aura around their body difference, or some kind of marking. It really doesn't matter too much. Luffy, you can tell he's in second gear because there's steam. He is pumping blood through his body very quickly, heating up his body, so the steam actually makes a lot of sense. It's very understandable that he would look that way. You have, let's see, Dragon Force from Fairy Tail. The characters are dragon slayers, and they have dragon magic, and we find out later in the story that, and this is from like, a lot of people read Fairy Tail, and this is from like a couple hundred chapters ago, I think, at this point, so I'm not really like spoiling anything major, but we find out that if Dragon Slayers use too much dragon, I'll put like a spoiler warning or something, if Dragon Slayers use too much dragon magic, they start to become dragons, and before that's revealed, Dragon Force, they take on a dragon-like appearance, and then it's explained later. Makes sense why they would take on a dragon-like appearance when transforming. Super Saiyan, kind of random that their hair changes color, I guess, but it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, but I mean, it really doesn't matter too much. People are complaining about Fourth Gear's design. He's inflating his muscles. He's becoming bouncy. It makes sense that he would be bulky like that. I think it looks really awesome. I like the use of the armament hockey, the way it looks on his muscles. It's cool how he chose to have that flame pattern design around his pec, upper pec, collarbone, shoulder area. And it serves a function. So, you know, if the transformation serves a function, it serves a purpose, and it makes sense for it to look the way it looks. Let's see what else there is to talk about. I guess I'll talk about the place in the story, because some people don't like power-ups, don't like Super Saiyan forms, they think they're cheap, they come out of nowhere, whatever. It really just depends on the situation. It really is case by case. I personally don't like the demon mode transformation, especially when the character loses control of themselves, because they aren't finishing the fight, they're getting bailed out. It's like this very convenient thing that happens that kind of saves them from a situation. And it's okay for the first reveal, but I don't think it should be like for the final fight, the big bad guy. It's like, oh, I'm losing, this guy's too strong. Someone inside's like, oh, I'll finish this fight for you, and they'll fucking take over. And that's pretty much what happened in Yu Yu Hakusho. But Yu Yu Hakusho addresses it, and Yusuke's like, what the fuck, why'd you interfere with my fight? And that's good. I like that it addresses that bullshit, and the character is not happy about it. So, you know, there's that. Also, foreshadowing is very key. Super Saiyan was foreshadowed heavily throughout the Namek arc. Dragon Force, not too much setup for that. Just kind of that Natsu had hidden abilities within him that, you know, he hasn't yet tapped into. That was kind of hinted at. Let's see. Luffy hinted at his moves. He said, I have a couple of new moves I want to try. You know, he came up with new techniques, and he uses them against Blueno. that's another thing too, and this is kind of a personal thing for me. When a transformation is undergone, unless they're going to beat up some guy just to prove how strong it is or effective it is, I don't think they should win a fight easily. Excuse me a second. Okay, I had to cut right there because of a phone call. I'm planning to overlay like this video. I'm trying to like show like me just doing time-lapse drawings in my art style, so really the fact that I just cut right there, you wouldn't even notice if I didn't point it out, but not a big deal, whatever. It gives me a good excuse to find the fuck where I was at, because I had a phone call for a few minutes now and I'm not sure what I was talking about. I think I was talking about basically the situations that a transformation is performed in. I think that I already mentioned that I think a character should not have a demon power-up where someone takes control or some entity takes control and finishes a fight for them without their consent, because I feel like it's cheap and they aren't actually winning for themselves. You know, if they trained really hard for this fight and then they get bailed out, it feels kind of cheap. It feels like the training was pointless. I feel like the character should not have an easy victory when they transform, because it's kind of like, you know, oh, here's this climactic battle, and then they have this transformation, and then they easily just destroy their opponent. And if it's like the final battle of the arc, that's kind of anticlimactic. If it's like Luffy versus Blueno, where he's not the final villain and you're just kind of showing how strong second gear is compared to normal Luffy, that's fine. But notice how when he uses it on Rob Lucci, it's a much more even struggle. He has to go in and out of it a couple of times and push his body to the limit to fight him. And I think that's good. And, you know, when Goku went Super Saiyan, he was able to spank Frieza pretty good, but there was still a struggle for it. You know, Frieza had his full 100% power. The planet was destroying around them. There was the wishes going on. So yeah, I think with that it's kind of justified. I think another thing too is if you're going to have a big character transformation, have it accomplish something. That was one of the things I didn't like about Godspeed in Hunter x Hunter, is when Killua used it, and every single time he used it, it didn't amount to anything. He didn't beat the shit out of anybody, or win a fight, or do anything really impactful. He just kind of was able to smack around Yuppie a little bit, didn't do any damage. He was able to fight like a poof clone and do some damage to it, but really it didn't amount to anything. He'll probably use it later in the series if Togashi ever fucking writes the rest of the series, but it just didn't leave a lot of impact. Not like where, you know, Luffy fights Blueno and it's like it's over in... Well, in the anime, he straight up beats the shit out of him with a lot of different attacks. In the manga, he does like 3 or 4 moves and he puts the dude down, and it's like, holy shit, like this is a guy that Luffy was just having an even fight with, and this transformation just completely blew this guy away. I think that that's really the best way to show that the transformation is impactful and badass and stuff like that. When it doesn't accomplish anything like Godspeed, it's a little bit underwhelming. But it's not like horrible or anything. It just feels like, oh, it's a transformation, and it just kind of comes and it's kind of cool, but it's nothing special. And I think Godspeed looks cool, and I think it's cool how fast he is. It's just, I feel like he should have fought a different Chimera Ant than Yuppie. He should have fought someone he could actually kill with it, or at least severely injure. And then you have, like, Gon, and obviously there's spoilers in this video, obviously, so if you haven't seen these series that I'm talking about, I mean, there's going to be, like, a spoiler warning. I think I already mentioned that. But yeah, this is, like, a bigger spoiler. When Gon transforms into, like, his adult form, so to speak, that was, like, the final fight of the Chimera Ant arc, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it happened, yeah, it happened after Netero versus fucking Cell, fucking Ant King Miriam, or whatever his name is. And I'm like, okay, so Gon transforms, is this going to be like an even struggle? Is he going to be on par with, or a little bit stronger than Neferpito? No, he just absolutely slaughters her, and all the build-up throughout the entire arc, and the 30-plus episodes of slow-ass narration and shit, builds up to a cool, but kind of underwhelming beatdown. That, not underwhelming, it was a bad, like, the stuff he did was cool, but it was just rock over and over. I mean, that's more of a problem with the Chimera Ant arc, I guess. Just, you know, not utilizing that form to what he could have in, like, this big moment, but whatever, that's more of, like, a Hunter x Hunter discussion, but just ending a fight that quickly with all the build-up, and it's just yeah, but that's not really an objective problem with you having a transformation. It's just kind of something I don't like. The payoff needs to be there, and I think that's the biggest key thing about a transformation is even if people don't like what it looks like, because I even heard people saying, oh, fourth gear, it looks dumb, but as soon as they saw the Kong gun, they were like, no, fuck it, it does not matter what it looks like. That was fucking amazing. So that's really the most important thing. Even if transformation looks silly, once you see how devastating it is, or once you see how cool it is and what it's capable of, and the payoff is there, I think people kind of forget what it looks like. And I think that might be what happens with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, when people, at least in America, because it's already out in Japan, when they see it in theaters in America, which is going to be awesome because it's coming out English dubbed in the summer. Can't wait for that. But anyways, those are my thoughts on transformations in a series, talking about how they look, their function in the story, and what I think is the right way to do them. Again, my opinion. If you guys have different thoughts, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys think of the subject of this discussion. Tell me what you guys think about it in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my channel. If you haven't, that would be great. Rate this video also if you have the time. It's one click. I'm sure you do. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.